Good morning, my beautiful friends. This is your wake up call with Maui Paul. I am Maui Paul. We are here today to say some nice things about ourselves. I want to say good morning to everybody who's here today. Good morning, Dan, coming in from Buford. Good morning, Lauren from Paradise. Jan, also coming in from Paradise. It is wonderful to see you guys today. Thanks so much for being here. The question of the day was, what are you most passionate about? And Dan says, I'm most passionate about family and personal relationships. A wonderful answer to that question. Thank you so much, Dan. I like this. I like this question because it really gets to the core of what people believe, or what our core values are. Lauren says that she's most passionate about loyalty. That's a great answer. Jan's most passionate, staying in alignment with her truest self. So alignment is a really good answer as well. One of the things that I am most passionate about is helping others. And of course, the wake up call is one manifestation of that. But ultimately, helping other people, in particular, helping other people to recognize how awesome they are and how beautiful they are and how life is very much worth living is one of my great passions. And, anything that we are passionate about ultimately requires that we are able to effectively communicate our ideas about whatever it is that we're passionate about. And so I am passionate about a lot of different things, but primarily helping other people to see their own inherent value and worth is one of the things that I am most passionate about. Anyways, thank you guys so much for answering that question of the day. We are here once again to pull another card off the top of my I am deck. I'm going to ask you if you are the affirmation on the card, and we are going to respond out loud together. I am that affirmation. As we do that, we are building into our own lives. We are changing up our own experience, and ultimately, we are being able to change the world. So let's have some fun. Let's pull a card off the top of the deck and say that today I am assertive. I am assertive. I boldly advocate my positions. So I am assertive. I boldly advocate my positions. Are you assertive? You are assertive. You boldly advocate your positions. I'm going to write that down in the comments that I am assertive. That I boldly advocate my position. And we are continuing the theme of the nature deck today with this beautiful picture of a bluebird, or a blue jay. I'm sorry, not a bluebird, a blue jay. I didn't know much about blue jays until I put up some feeders, and Pepper, Pepper really showed me more about them. But boy, let me tell you, that is a very assertive bird. Those blue jays. First of all, these guys these guys have the ability to mimic other different bird calls. They will learn other birds' calls and they will use those other calls, which is crazy. We had a blue jay last season that sounded like a hawk. And it was so funny because every time that blue jay would make those hawk sounds, all the other birds would scatter because, they were they figured that there was probably some kind of a predator around. And then, of course, here comes this blue jay to come and feed at the feeder with none of the other birds around. You're like, you sneaky little punk. But anyways, so you are assertive is a great card for, or this is a great image for the you are assertive card. So indeed, I am assertive today. You are assertive as well, and being assertive is very much about being able to effectively communicate what our positions are, and to really to behave as an advocate for them. And everybody has beliefs. We all have beliefs. We all have opinions. We all have things that we think that we know more about than the person who's next to us. And in many cases, we're right, because there's a lot to know in this world. And if we take even a small amount of time to consider an issue or to consider a position, chances are good that we have taken more time to consider it than the people around us have. And so it's important for us to be able to assert these positions when we know what we're talking about. It's important to know that we know what we're talking about, and then it's important to be able to communicate what we're talking about. And so I am assertive, and you are as well, and we boldly advocate our positions. Of course, being an advocate for our positions does not mean that we are, that we are demanding that other people believe what we believe. Rather, being an advocate essentially is all about being able to effectively communicate the merit of our positions. And so I am assertive, and you are as well. And as we communicate the merit of our positions today, it's going to allow us to have a greater level of trust and respect with the people around us. Because ultimately, when somebody boldly advocates a position around me, I always tend to think to myself, wow, there's a person who has considered things more deeply than I have. I should listen to that person. I should take what they have to say. I should take what they have to say more seriously. Now, being assertive doesn't mean that we have to be right, and it doesn't mean that we have to be convincing. It's important to advocate for, but not necessarily to convince. Our job is not to evangelize or to convince others about our positions, but rather, yeah, I guess it is to sort of evangelize for them, to say, hey, I've thought about this deeply, and therefore, and here are my conclusions. And as we advocate for our positions, we will find that in many cases, the people around us will just accept what we have to say. And other times, the people around us will have also considered the position themselves, and perhaps they agree, perhaps they don't. But then that gives them an invitation to advocate for their position. There are many times that I've gone into a conversation quite convinced that I was right about something, and then I realized that my conversation partner actually had considered it in a way that I hadn't considered it before. And as they boldly advocated for their positions, I recognized that my own position was flawed, or that I just didn't have all the information. And in doing so, I decided that I was going to change my mind. And as we are assertive, we also give other people the gift of being assertive as well. And really, in the end, we are all looking for what is true. We are all looking for the things that we can count on. And so I am assertive today, and you are assertive as well. And so let's boldly advocate for our positions today. Let's understand why we think what we think. And oftentimes I've found that when I have seriously started to put some critical thought into some core belief that I hold, in many cases I realized that the beliefs that I hold are really just me parroting somebody else's belief that I haven't thought about all that deeply. I'd outsourced my thinking to somebody else and was living my life in accordance with somebody else's thinking. Well, of course, once I recognized that that's what was happening, then I would definitely change my mind, because I'm a grown up and I'm allowed to do that. And so I am assertive today, and you are assertive as well. We boldly advocate for our positions. So yeah. So the question of the day, which is what are you most passionate about, kind of gives you an insight as to what things that we can be most assertive about. Because when we have to be passionate about something to understand the issues that surround it. We have to be passionate about something to have deeply thought about that thing. There's a lot of stuff to think about in this world. And when I'm really being honest with myself, the vast majority of my opinions were given to me by somebody else before I had even thought about thinking about these things. And if I'm being really honest with myself, the vast majority of my most deeply held views are deeply held because I've held them for a long time. A belief is just a thought that we think over and over and over again. And the things that I believe most deeply are things that I've thought since childhood. Now, would I trust a child to lead my life? Of course not. And yet, I trust myself and the conclusions that I drew as a child to inform my decision making. And yeah, on its face, this is ridiculous. And yet, of course, it's something that we all do every day. Thinking is difficult. And because thinking is difficult, we are all looking for shortcuts to find things that are true enough that we can operate life with those conclusions. So I am assertive today. You are assertive as well, and so let's boldly advocate our positions. As we do boldly advocate our positions, the strength or weakness of our positions will manifest themselves. And I cannot tell you how many times I have boldly advocated for a position, only to discover, even in the process of advocating for it, that I had not thought it through as deeply as I thought I had, and that was just an invitation for me to change my mind. And this is one of the hallmarks of mature people, is that mature people are capable of changing our minds. We are capable of collecting new information and saying, well, this new information means that I've been wrong this whole time, or perhaps this new information that I have, this means that I can now change my view, and then having the courage to change it, the courage to recognize that when we've been thinking about things the same way for a very long time, that perhaps it is time for a change in view. And when we are called upon to advocate for our positions, the weaknesses of our positions become manifest to us very quickly. And so I am assertive, you are as well. And so we're going to boldly advocate for our positions today. We're going to boldly advocate for the things that we believe are right. So I see that quite a few you guys have shown up. Let's take a look at the comments and see what you guys have to say. Good morning again, once again, to Dan for coming in from Buford. Good morning, Lauren and Jan. I know you guys are coming in from Paradise. Party starts today. We have, what, 5 days of straight partying that going to be happening here around the resort. It's going to be a big weekend. Good morning. Let's see. Dan says that a life of service is awesome. Indeed, it is, Dan. I haven't found anything that was quite as fulfilling as serving other people. Let's see. Let's see. So Pepper says that Blue Jays are certainly assertive. Of course they are. You're the one who's taught me about them. Good morning, Donna, coming in from Marietta. Wonderful to see you on the wake-up call, Donna. And Lane as well. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, Val. Yes, indeed. Awesome, beautiful people. You are awesome and beautiful as well. Good morning, Tony. Good morning, Shauna. Let's see. Yeah, Tony says, I am most certainly assertive and always boldly advocate for my positions. You certainly do, Tony, and I love to hear. I've had quite a few fairly deep conversations with you, and I've always been struck by how you really do think about things quite deeply. Pepper has just linked the Pinterest board. So that Pinterest board is man, we are about at 4,500 monthly views at this point for the for the last 30 days, and I am just very, very excited by just how much that's taken off. We've got a couple of people over there who comment on the things, people that I don't know, people who 4,605, she's telling me. 4,605 people have seen these empowering messages over the course of the last month. So I think that's just the coolest thing. So anyways, if you haven't checked it out yet, you can go over to our Pinterest board, check out the Pinterest board. There are dozens and dozens of cards over there that have not been pulled on the wake-up call because she's making them faster than I do wake-up calls. But I certainly have a lot to choose from. So I am assertive, and I'm going to boldly advocate for the positions that I hold, particularly the ones that surround positive and empowering I am statements. I know it's your leaving Saturday morning, Tony, and I wish you the best down in Florida. I hope that you guys are doing well, that you guys are making I know that you guys are making the right choices for you, and I sincerely hope that you have an amazing time down in Florida, and for whatever the next stage of life holds for you. But you certainly are always welcome at Paradise, and you're certainly always welcome on the wake up call. I'll be very happy to continue to keep in touch with you here. Anyways, so I am assertive today. You are assertive as well. And so let's boldly advocate for our positions today. Let's boldly advocate for our positions for the rest of our lives. And let's understand that as we boldly advocate for our positions, that we become thought leaders, that we become people who are trusted as authorities in our relative spheres. All right, so I'll talk to y'all tomorrow at 9 a.m. Once again. Tomorrow being Friday, we will also go over all the cards for the week and see how we got here, and just take a look at this rad nature deck that Pepper is making. Really excited about tomorrow's card. It's actually one of the prettiest cards I think that Pepper has made. So I'm really excited for it. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow at 9 a.m. Until then, this is your daily reminder that I love you and that I care about you, that I believe in you, that I believe that your positions are worthy of being advocated for, and that I know that you have the ability and the desire to advocate for those positions. Keep on helping the other people around you see things from your perspective, and in doing so, we will change the world together. I'll talk to y'all tomorrow at 9 a.m. Until then, aloha from paradise.